This week's preset of the week is not just one preset. It is an entire tone pack dedicated to Jimmy Page's guitar work on the first 4 Led Zeppelin albums, plus extra bonus material. As Austin Buddy noted in our interview last year, this tone pack is not intended for live use. Instead, it is intended for exact reproduction of every one of Jimmy Page's guitar parts on those first 4 Led Zeppelin albums. And when I say exact reproduction, I mean even down to where it is panned in the stereo sound field. Now that is some seriously detailed work that he's done. This episode is sponsored by Austin Buddy, who was kind enough to give me copies of his tone packs last year. Let's see what you get when you buy this tone pack. After you've paid for this tone pack, an email is sent to you with the information on how to download it. You will download a file called Latest April 22 BRIT Rock Royalty 1 AX3 FM9 FM3 versions.zip. Unzip this file and you'll get a folder with the same name. Open that file and you'll find 3 more folders. One for the AXFX3, one for the FM3, and one for the FM9. This means that you get versions for all 3 modelers, not just one. Open any of those folders and you will find 5 more folders. The first has the README and preset listing, the second has the user cabs, the third has the user scales, and the fourth has banks and presets. The fifth has an optional file for the various foot switch options available for this tone pack. For example, with the AXFX3, you get a setup for the FC12. With the FM3, you get a setup for the FC6. The 6-page README file gives you specific instructions on how to load this tone pack into your modeler. Please follow those instructions. Unless you're a bona fide fractal guru, you won't quite know what goes where. The 10-page presets and scene names and notes PDF file lists every preset and every scene for every song on the first 4 Zeppelin albums. Some songs have more than one preset because 8 scenes just weren't enough. There are also bonus presets that cover specific TV and radio rigs used by Jimmy Page, another for acoustic guitar, another that covers Page's settings on How the West Was Won, and 4 John Paul Jones bass presets. As of April 23, 2022, the BRIT Rock Royalty No. 1 tone pack for AXFX3 has been fully updated to Cygnus X. It now works on the AXFX3 running Cygnus 19.06 and higher, the FM9 running firmware 2.02, and the FM3 running firmware 5.02 or higher. Your first step, or second step if you printed the docs first, is to move the 2 included IRs to user 1 slots number 65 and 66. The easiest way to do that is to open Manage Cabs, then drag and drop those 2 files into their respective slots. The next step is to install the 3 provided global custom scales into slots 3, 4, and 5 so that the harmony parts on these albums work correctly. You do this by clicking on Setup, then clicking on the Scales tab. If you click on the drop-down menu next to Custom Scale Number, you'll see that there are 32 slots available. Go down to number 3, then click on the down button and choose Import. Go to the folder with the global scale files and select Global Custom Scale Import Slot 3 Foggy Hill Jump.global scale. Repeat this for slots 4 and 5 with their respective files. Now you can import the presets on an album-by-album basis, or all of the presets. I didn't have a full bank available, but since there are only 51 presets, I just dragged them in via the Manage Presets tab. They're organized in the same order as the songs on those first 4 albums. With an average of 5 scenes per preset, this gives you approximately 255 scenes. One thing to note is that Austin Buddy's wah pedal is set up opposite of fractal default. Toe down is off. Now, if you don't have an expression pedal attached, the wah will come on unless you set the initial value for external controller 1 to 100% instead of the default of 0%. Austin Buddy has a video explaining how to set this up on his website. Now, your next step, if you want to do it, is to set up your foot controller. With the AXFX3, there's a file for the FC12. For the FM3, there's a file for the FC6. Now, of course, I have to be difficult, you know. I'm using my AXFX3, but I don't have an FC12. I have an FC6, but I didn't check with AustinBuddy to find out if his FC6 file would work with the AXFX3. Now, I'm assuming it would be, but I'm just going to leave well enough alone and just use my FC6 the way it's set up right now. But you do have the option for using AustinBuddy's setup for your foot controllers. There's also a file for the FM9. Your next step is to print off the preset and scenes list. AustinBuddy provides incredibly detailed info for each part of the song, and this is a 10-page document. For each song, there is a suggested guitar and pickup for each scene, volume and tone knob settings, plus any extra notes that AustinBuddy felt were pertinent. Your final step is to plug in, then start with Led Zeppelin 1. Now you can work on perfecting those classic Jimmy Page riffs. You'll have the rigs. Now you'll have to see if you have the talent to pull it off. I'll try out 4 different presets, one from each album. All right, time to give it a shot. Well, guys, that was just 4 short examples. I mean, I could have gone on for an hour doing this stuff and I still wouldn't have hit everything. That is how much work has gone into this tone pack. It's incredible. And I just, you know, like I said, I could just keep demoing it and demoing it and demoing it. Best thing is for you to get it and work with it yourself. AustinBuddy has described this tone pack as a work of love. And that love really shows in the amount of work that has gone into it. If you too are a hardcore Led Zeppelin fan, you'll be looking for backing tracks that you can use so you can replace that slacker Jimmy Page and get the band back on the road again. Now this Friday we are going to be having part 16 of the Fractal for Beginners series. And we are going to take a look at how to use some of those unassigned switch functions in the various layouts. Now this is applicable to the FM3, the FM9, and the AXFX3. You do not want to miss that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. All right, guys, I will see you on Friday.